Hey fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps and you're watching True School Sports.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, talking heavyweight boxing here for a second because we got some news in the heavyweight division from two of the heavyweight divisions, top 10 fighters, guys that you would consider, two of the probably premier names, two of the big names outside of the champions. You got former world champion, former WBO world champion, Joseph Parker. It was reported by Sky Sports that Joseph Parker is going to return on a card in February. They didn't state when, but they said in February. So, potentially, it's not stated in the article, but, one of the biggest cards in February for Eddie Hearn and DAZN is that Mikey Garcia versus Jesse Vargas fight. So maybe we see Parker on that. He did fight on the Demetrius Andrade a card in Rhode Island, and they're saying it's a U.S. card that he's supposed to be on. So February U.S. card. Let's put two and two together. He fights on the 29th, and it's good to hear because we need to see Joseph Parker back in the ring. Last year, his only fight was against Alex Leopai, and I was surprised that Alex Leopai was even alive because I hadn't seen or heard of Alex Leopai at all until they announced he was fighting Parker. Parker won a pretty uneventful decision, and he picked himself up a win against a guy that used to be a good fringe contender, but that Leopai has came and went. When we look at who he could potentially be fighting, because they were saying that it's going to be a decent opponent, it will be a step-up fight of some sort. And then they'll look at, potentially fighting one of the big boys like Wilder or Fury, which I don't know how that's going to happen, but, later on in the year, that's what they're targeting. When we look at the WBO rankings, right, because Parker is ranked number 2 by the WBO, you got to look at, like, the fighters that are in those rankings that are not tied up, So, you have Alexander Usyk, which I cannot see them doing because they're going to try to get him a win. So a Usyk fight right now will be too risky, and I don't think it'd make enough sense. You got Adam Kownacki, who's he's the second half of this video. He has his own card scheduled in March that he's headlining. So there's that. You have Andy Ruiz Jr., which I'm not so sure if they want to go that route right away because they might get a pissed off and focus Ruiz because he just blew the biggest opportunity of his life against Anthony Joshua. You got Daniel Dubois, who's ranked 5th, who's in negotiations with Joe Joyce for a British title fight, so that's not going to come off. You got Junior Fa. I think Junior Fa would be a decent opponent for Joseph Parker because Junior Fa is a New Zealander like Joseph Parker, so they could have a New Zealander fight, but I'm not so sure they want to do that on a random card in the U.S. They might want to save that one for later on back at home. Could be a matchup, but I don't think so. You got Michael Hunter coming off that draw against Alexander Povetkin. I think that'd be a good fight for Parker to see where he's at because Michael Hunter is a top, he's a good heavyweight. I thought he beat Povetkin, and he should have got the decision, but unfortunately they didn't give it to him. So he'll probably want to go get a rematch. But if not, that could be a good opponent for him. You got Evgeny Romanov. Evgeny Romanov, the guy that knocked out Deontay Wilder in the amateurs that nobody talks about. He's been quietly just picking up wins, stacking his chips. Evgeny Romanov would be a good shout. Let's see how good Romanov is taking on a challenge like Joseph Parker. Could be the fight that announces him to the world stage. Derek Chisora, that fight fell through. You got Frank Sanchez, you got Tom Schwartz, you got Philip Hergovic, which is definitely not going to happen. So I'm looking at that list, and I'm thinking either Michael Hunter, Junior Fa, or maybe Tom Schwartz or Evgeny Romanov. One of those guys. I could see one of those guys, being picked to fight Parker. Guys not in that top 15 rankings. Maybe Sergey Kuzmin. He'd be a good shout because Kuzmin's a decent fighter, good power, durable. I say why not? But we'll see how it goes. We need to see Parker. I want to see whoever he fights. I don't give a damn who he fights. Whoever he fights, I want to see Joseph Parker let his hands go. I want to see combinations from the guy. I want to see him placing his punches well. I want to see a dangerous I want to see the Joseph Parker that I saw when I was a prospect that made me fall in love with him in the first place when I saw him fight. You know, he was something to watch as a prospect. People forget now because he's lost to Joshua and he's lost to Dillian White and he's kind of been, you know, inactive. But people forget when he was a prospect, when he let his hands go, he was arguably the best combination puncher in the heavyweight division. And I still think he has that capability, but we need to see it. We need to see a matured Joseph Parker, a more put together Joseph Parker. And I think we have a chance to see that potentially for Joseph Parker. So yeah, look for him to be in action in February. That's what was reported by Sky Sports. In other news, our main man, Adam Kownacki, the babyface assassin. And you know what? Shout out to my man, Henry Brown, who always super chats in my lives. He loves Adam Kownacki and always trolls me about how Adam Kownacki is going to go undisputed. But Adam Kownacki, it's been reported that he's going to headline his own card March 7th at the Barclays Center. And, you know, Adam Kownacki is a massive ticket seller at the Barclays Center. You know, he's sold upwards of 8, 9, 10,000 tickets by himself, you know, because the Polish fight fans, they always support their own. What are we talking about? Adam Kownacki, or we talk about I think it's Thomas Adamek. I believe Thomas Adamek. The Polish, they support their own, and I think they'll be out there in full force. Now the rumored opponent for Adam Kownacki was Dominic Breazeale, and it looks like Dominic Breazeale has become the whipping boy for PBC heavyweight. He is now the official gatekeeper heavyweight for PBC fighters. You know, because he got absolutely decapitated by Deontay Wilder. Now he's being fed to Adam Kownacki. And early in his career, he got the crap beat out of him by Anthony Joshua. So look, Dominic Breazeale, to put him in there with a guy like Kownacki, who's throwing that volume of punches with decent punching power, it's not looking so good because Breazeale's got very slow reflexes. I think when you get beat up like he did against Joshua, and then when you get knocked out the way he did against Wilder, that does something to a fighter. And I question how much Dominic Breazeale really has left, because even before he got beat up by Deontay Wilder, you know, he was very, you know, even before the Anthony Joshua fight, like when he fought Ngannou, which I think was before. No, was it before or after? I think it was before Joshua, but don't quote me on that. When he fought Ngannou in that war that he won, he was limited back then. So he's gonna be that much more limited now. So I'm looking for Adam Kownacki to get a statement performance. I'm looking for him to absolutely fold up Dominic Breazeale. And if he can stop Dominic Breazeale, I mean, there's no way in hell I think he's going to stop him in more dominant fashion than Deontay Wilder did. That's just asking too much. But if he can stop him before Anthony Joshua did, which was the 7th round, that's a good statement there from Adam Kownacki. You know, that's a good win. Then you look at his resume. You know, you got Chris Arreola, Charles Martin, now Dominic Breazeale. Obviously, these guys are not the creme de la creme. Most of these guys are shot or just not that good to begin with. But the names are starting to stack up on the resume. And if Deontay Wilder, I'm letting you guys know, if Deontay Wilder beats Tyson Fury February 22nd, look for PBC to make Adam Kownacki versus Deontay Wilder in the second part of 2020. So, you know, it's a chance for Adam Kownacki to really start 2020 off and make a name for himself. Because listen, I still haven't got over how he turned down the Joshua fight on short notice last year, because he had a chance to have his Andy Ruiz moment. He could have been Andy Ruiz. You know, he's also fat like Andy Ruiz. He could have been Andy Ruiz. And, you know what? Maybe he fights Andy Ruiz later this year. That'd be another good fight. So he's in a great position if he beats Breazeale. If he beats Breazeale, I think he's getting a Andy Ruiz fight or a Wilder fight in 2020. You can take it to the bank here on True School Sports. But that's the news. Adam Kownacki and Joseph Parker will both be back in action in the first quarter of 2020. So that's good news for boxing fans. That's great news for the heavyweight division. And let's see how these guys do to start the year off, because the heavyweight division is in a great place. Obviously, you know, Joshua, Fury, Wilder, these guys are by themselves on their own TL, and you could throw in Dillian White. And then, you know, after that, I would say that Parker, Kownacki, Ortiz, Usyk, you know, these guys are kind of fighting for that top spot on the second tier right now. And Usyk right now, he's only on the second tier because he hasn't had any fights with first-tier fighters yet, but he might be in that first tier by the end of the year. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.
My name is Rachel McDonough, and this is my friend. Hi, I'm Susanna, and we're here at the beautiful Madison Square Garden for the big fight, and you are watching True School Sports.